Hello, y'all. Lisa Bowles here, otherwise known as the Soul Mapper. And it is just after 1 on Eastern Time on Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Holy moly. Apologies that we got a little bit of a late start. Had a little trouble getting into Zoom, but we're here now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Faye. Hi, Leslie. I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Shayona. Steed. Oh, my God. Steed. And Sylvia. Hello, 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 y'all. Erica's in the background. Steed. I love that. Erica's in the background running all the gorgeous tech and the chat and all that goodness. Thank you again, Erica. We're going to give things just a minute to see if other people arrive, because this is an unusual time. We usually do live the last Thursday of the month, and this is a week early. So I just wanted to give just a minute or more to give other people an opportunity to come, because we're just a little bit off rhythm. I cannot wait to share. Oh my goodness, Aaron is joining us. Oh, Aaron, hi. It's so good to see you. Juana, Marilyn. Okay, I'm just excited. And I am really excited to share February with you. As you read, the shortest month of any year, February is, and this February is, wow, chock-a-block. We have lots to cover. And I have something I want to share with you. So please do stick around, because you're going to want to know, I promise. There's a lot on the move. I think it's probably good we start diving in. Erica, you're going to have to watch for people joining us later. I'm going to turn that thing off so that we can just focus. So you want to dive into live for February 2026. Okay, I'm still getting used to saying that. Next slide, please. Now, these are the backbeats for the year that are currently in motion. We're going to be updating this as we go, because some things are going to shift out as backbeats and others are going to shift in. But for now, you probably want to keep your eye on this. And if you're called to refresh yourself, going back to live for 2026, either watching the replay again, listening to the audio again, or checking the handy dandy implementation guide. Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please. These are the shorter term influences still in play. Now, hi, Juana. I want you to know, because we don't do a January live, because we do December, or pardon me, we do live for the whole year in December. There's some we haven't talked about here. If you're a member of the current, we're going to be talking about a couple of those. Yeah, because some of them will be affecting us still. So these are the ones to know about. The first one we're going to talk more about when we get there, because when the retrograde ends and our benevolent rebel Uranus moves himself firmly back into Gemini to stay for a good chunk of time, it will be important, and we will review that. The January 10th to February 18th, our force of nature is working in Aquarius right now, and holy moly. Wowza. Yeah. And that's the mandate. There's lots of other things we could talk about, but that is the, okay. And then November 11th till March the 10th, our fortune finder Jupiter will go, or is in retro in Cancer. And I am watching that do some pretty significant things. Yeah, that's a good one to go check with the implementation guide for 2026 about, okay? Or go back to November's live if you'd rather. Next slide, please. Okay. Noteworthy moves, absolutely. And I'm going to now go to my notes, my very, very thorough notes, so that I don't miss anything as we review this, okay? Next slide, please. And if I don't make eye contact with y'all, it's because my eye's in the notes, okay? So, right on the first, a full moon in Leo. And for a whole lot of people, if you've been motion mapped already, you know, for a lot of people, this is a big, important full moon. For the rest of us, it's still pretty important. Yeah.
Oh, I got it now.
Could, Erica, could you mute everybody so we have a nice, clean recording? Thank you. And if you have a question and you want to toggle your microphone on, please do, or pop your question into the chat. And when we get to Q&A time, we can review your question then, okay? So this could be a very, very, very big full moon for a whole lot of people. To work with it, celebrate. And I mean that. Actually celebrate at least one of the following. Because what that wants to help you do is feel yourself, your very fine self. And I don't mean the self you identify with mentally, but the deeper self, as fully as you can. So, first one, the unique way you shine. Okay? Second, the people or things who make your heart sing, make you feel most alive. Third, your romantic nature. And let me say this about that word, romantic. One of the things I notice about purposeful people is, without necessarily knowing it, they live, it's a little in and out sometimes, but they live romancing their own soul. So when I say romantic nature, that's kind of what I'm referring to. It is not the only aspect of your romantic nature, but you want to hold that, okay? Fourth, your fashion sense. Let me tell you why. We often express ourselves or what we think about ourselves, whether we're aware that thinking's going on, through the way we wear our hair, the kinds of clothes we wear, the colors we do or do not choose. You know what I mean, okay? And there's sensibility in how we use fashion to express ourselves. A lot of people tend to think that fashion is without substance or depth. Not for everybody. So if that's ringing your bells, go you. Your childlike wonder, the places and ways you feel like a natural leader. And so if the word leader or leadership kind of has you go, oh, I'm talking about your way of leading. Leo wants you to notice or be more deeply present to the ways and places where you feel like a natural leader and just kind of lead. Okay. And then the last one, the fiercely competitive streak that won't let you quit or give up on yourself, or both. Okay. If more than one of these 7 speaks to you, celebrate the ones that speak to you. But just don't try and celebrate all 7. Really focus on the ones that, okay, for you. All right? Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. February 3rd, the retrograde in Uranus ends. And so I just want to say right now, we're likely to, this community in general and the population at large, there's going to be an energy shift this day that will be substantial. Okay. So if you might want to put this in your calendar, please, please, at the top, so that if the night before and the day of you're like discombobulated going, what the, it'll be this. And notice that this is right on the heels of a full moon in Leo. Just take that into account. Okay. Good. Wah. Forward ho, Uranus now goes for a final stretch in Taurus. It won't be back again for a very, very long time. Okay, like decades. It began in September on the 6th, stirring and shaking up a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, rebelliousness, but it will also have been asking you to, so what is your rebellious nature for? What are you here to rebel about? Have you always been? Do you squelch it? Because what it wants to help us do is connect to our unique spirit of rebellion and its benevolent nature, not, although that might be part of it sometimes, but really to dive deeper into our rebellious spirit so that we can connect with it. Now, there's a couple of key places where that may have been stirred up. One, in our finances or financial life. Two, in our home life. And three, in and around our sense of inner security. Okay? So when it begins to shift, because it's been in retrograde, whether we know it or not, we've been in contemplation, review, reconsideration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And once this moves, it's going to get, okay, now it's time to act on the insights you've gained, or bring them up to the surface, folks, and let's go. Okay? One of the things that may also have been shaking up is your ideas about stability and what it means or requires to feel grounded. Okay? Uranus has been on a 7-year journey, and these are the last days of that journey. It's going to move into Gemini. We talked about that just a little bit ago. When it moves into Gemini, because we had a bit of a preview, and then it went back into Taurus because of this retrograde, and it wants to help us kind of dot our I's and cross our T's before he moves firmly into Gemini, which is going to be a different energy altogether. He's disrupted some things for all of us. And he wants to help you kind of close the book on that as effectively as possible for you. All righty? One of the pieces here is embracing uncertainty. That's part of why he's been where he's been. Okay? So keep that in mind, because he's been preparing us for days to come. And I want to make sure we know that as a community. Okay? Next slide, please. February 6th till 14th of April, our communication savant, otherwise known as Mercury, shifts into Pisces. Okay? This includes the retrograde that takes place from the 26th. We have a snowplow outside. Sorry, everybody, if that's making its way into the audio, I apologize. He probably won't be here for very long. February 26th till March the 20th. Okay? Now, those of you who've been around a while, you know to kind of take things from the 26th and back them up by 2 weeks, because that'll be the pre-retrograde shadow period, and then take the 2 weeks after March the 20th, and that's the post-shadow period, so keep that in mind. The really interesting thing about our communication savant working here is that he's going to be asking kind of, okay, to pay attention to what attracts you. And I don't mean distract you because somebody's using bright shiny on you, because that's happening a lot, but really pulls you. Okay? That will become really important because it's something that wants to be communicated to you, about you, or about your work, at least your work's message, and then through you, just not during the time here. It may ask you to communicate to yourself. So do journaling or take notes or audio notes, because I do that a lot and have it transcribed using various devices. Okay. This is an extended cycle because there is a retrograde in here. So keep that in mind. We're going to be hunkering down with this for good reason for a while. And so you want to be, watch for vague communication first to you. How do I say this? It might not feel vague, but when you go to put it on paper, you may find that on paper, you're like, that, if I was encountering this without the feeling, that would feel vague. What does that mean? Okay. What you want to do is watch for vague communication and actively ask questions. Take yourself down deeper into the layers. Okay. Pisces can be, beautiful and watery and we're all one and vague. Know that Mercury here gets a little frustrated. So if you notice frustration, it's because it's not comfortable here. It's not a natural place for it to be. So it kind of goes, could you just say the thing? And if you notice the frustration, don't use it against yourself. Just notice it and go, okay, so I need to ask more questions about that. What does that mean? And you may not be able to get to that response right away. Follow the feelings, but ask your life to respond to the questions. Just notice that the response will come over the period of the whole retrograde. Okay. Deep healing possible. Deep healing, very, very possible, particularly around boundaries. Okay. And if you're willing to dive deep into what might feel like stormy waters, emotional waters, deep healing possible. Okay. So if you're someone who helps people with boundaries and emotional healing, keep that in mind for this period, particularly during the retrograde and the pre and post shadow, but just throughout the whole sojourn through Pisces. Okay. Next slide, please. The 10th through March 6th, our charisma of cause Venus working through Pisces. Hello, hello. There's a theme there. Now, the difference between Mercury working through Pisces, our communication Seval, and our charisma of cause Venus working through Pisces is that Venus is very happy here. That's what exalted means. It is made exalted in its expression and its potency because it loves to be here. Okay? What could and is very, very likely during this period is a kind of artistic renaissance. You are going to be hearing me talk about that specific to this period. If you're in the current, we're going to be talking about this. And in the months to come, because there's a lot to talk about. But if you, and here's what I want to say. If you hear the word artistic and think, extraordinary artistry in the most common of terms, like painting or, writing music or any of the other strict arts, creator. How many of you know that you are a creator? Okay. So that phrase, that word might not have the same kind of, hang out with that, because there's going to be a creative renaissance bubbling in a lot of people because of this. And that bubbling wants to continue along your journey throughout the rest of 2026 and beyond. So please pay close attention to it. And if the word artistic or art, kind of go to creator. Okay. The key to leaning into this, two things. One, make time to meditate, to daydream, Okay, there can be some baggage with that word, but or to court your muse, to be with the part of you that goes, let's go play. Okay, and it's your inspiration. It takes you where doors are opening and creation wants to happen. Yeah. Okay, this becomes even more important later in the month. We'll talk about that in a second, or a couple of seconds. The other thing you want to do is help yourself relax. And the more you can do to help yourself be in as relaxed a state as possible, and that includes your nervous system, okay, being regulated so your shoulders can, okay, big deal. The more receptive you will be, the more relaxed you help yourself become. And that's when this can really go to work for you. Okay? Now, there is a downside. While here, the more, so you might know that Pisces is responsible. It's not the only sign that is, but big time for illusion and delusion. Okay? So all that can be really useful if you're a science fiction fantasy writer, or if you write poetry or sonnets, which I think is poetry. If you are, do you know what I mean? Like going into those spaces where there are no boundaries, Pisces, 2 thumbs up. But if you're trying to create work that has a physical, practical manifestation component, this can get really wonky. And you want to keep your eye out for that. Okay? If you're entrepreneurial, you know that you can say yes to a lot of things real fast and then kind of go, oh, geez, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overloaded. And that will become bigger because of this. So just take care. Okay. The next slide, please. February 12th, our communication savant and the closing North Node. So what I mean by that is the North and South Node that have been at work for us for a couple years. Okay. It's coming to a close, but there are a couple of meetups with it this month. And that's a big deal. Okay. This is the first of 3. All right. Things to keep in mind with this. And I have, like, please put these in your calendar for you, if not for the people you work with. But what destiny-driven message is your intuition trying to deliver? That's the big question to hang out with. And I'm going to say the day before, because if you're sensitive like I am, you might be feeling it the day before, maybe even the day before that. But definitely the day of. And you got to get out of here, okay, to hear it. Even though this is our communication savant, and that tends to be, it'll be coming through here, okay? All right. It wants to help you tune into ideas or insights that can guide your brave so you can take the next step forward. To a degree, it wants to help you make connection with the parts of your story that you might be having a bit of a difficult time living, because it might require some bravery, or the insight into why, because we may have just gotten really focused on that scares me, or I don't know what might happen next, because this is going out into new territory. So I have a dear friend who never reads a book until she reads the last 5 pages. If the last 5 pages tell her that the book is safe to read, she'll read it. It's kind of what this is like. In terms of, it wants to help you guide your brave. So if you're someone who wants to know how things are going to end first before you'll say yes or jump, this wants to help you go anyway. Okay? In part because it wants to help you connect to the measure of the story you're living, so that your focus is less on and more on. Okay? Destiny-driven message. Okay? The right word at the right time could entirely shift your perspective. Okay? How it's delivered could also be important. So if you're involved in self-talk and that self-talk is less than kind, less than favorable to you, less than abiding in the possible versus that could matter. So know that too. All righty. If you're working with folks around this date, keep that in mind. The right word delivered at the right time and in the right way could utterly change their perspective and make an enormous difference, and have them just naturally or spontaneously and authentically move when previously they felt stuck. Okay? Next slide, please. February 13th till April the 12th, 2028, our inner guru Saturn moves back into Aries. Okay? We got a preview of this in 2025, but now he moves there, back there, and instead of being a preview, he's like, okay, let's go to work, y'all. Okay? It'll be the first full tour of Aries since 1999. Think back to your life, 1999. Okay? That was a massive year for me. Okay. Preview. That happened between May 24th till September the 1st of last year. And so you may want to just go back in time and do some journaling, go, so what happened? What Saturnian stuff surfaced, happened, or didn't happen, then I might want to just remind myself of. It'll be working through Aries for a solid 2 years. And this cycle is going to bring a powerful blend of discipline, and I'm going to come back and unpack that word in just a second, and drive. Okay? And I mean this. We aim to build because our Saturn, our inner guru, is going, okay, let's go. All righty? Let's talk about discipline. I don't know about you, but that word is a thorny one for me, and I've learned that it's thorny for many people, especially if you are a creative, if you are purposeful. Like, we don't walk to the beat of the world's drum very often. And so the notion of being disciplined or not disciplined according to the world's standards or whoever's standards created some thorny experiences for us, particularly when we were young. When I say discipline, and so in here may be for you a need to revisit thorniness about that word and what it was made to mean, because that's not necessarily what it is for you, particularly now. So just know that that is present. I want to also remind you that Chiron, our wounded healer, okay, and I call him here in Soul Map vernacular, our curative effect. Our curative effect is also working in Aries right now. So this is not a coincidence. Lean into your Chiron if you've got some thorny around the word discipline, because otherwise what you'll find yourself doing is with Saturn's attempts as your proxy to help you be your kind of disciplined. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Bold action becomes the mandate. All right? But it's because we want to build. And we want to build from deep wisdom. So this isn't just build for building's sake. This isn't just action for action's sake. This is purposeful build. So think about Mars. Mars is the overseer of Aries. What do we call him here? Our action instinct. Okay? So it is your action instinct being partnered with our inner guru. Build, have discipline, bold action, yours. And listen to your instincts. Okay? I want you to also know that Saturn and the more intuitive, impulsive, I'm going to say another word, spontaneous. So there's impulsive and there's spontaneous. Saturn's not all that comfortable with either one, but if it is spontaneous and coming from true, okay, then different ballgame. But if it is impulsive, your Saturn, this Saturn, our Saturn, it is going to get a little cranky with you. All right? So you want to help yourself direct your passion into very productive channels. So staying connected to your action instinct is key. All right? Also note that this could come with some restlessness and impatience because the spirit of Aries is just go do it. And our inner guru is like, yes, bold action, and watch for trying to make things happen because that's manufacturing. And sometimes that's useful and a lot of times it's not when it comes to purposeful living. Versus manifestation. We need some of both, but this wants to help us gauge which one when. Okay? That's an important thing that I've never heard anybody else talk about. So keep that in mind. All righty? Next slide, please. February 17th, new moon, Aquarius, solar eclipse, and a warm up of the new North Node, the activation warm up. Okay? It's also Happy Lunar New Year, which is important to a great many people on the planet. This is a huge lunation, just for all kinds of reasons. Okay? And Aquarius, hello. So the Aquarius Leo, Aquarius new North Node in Aquarius, and the South Node in Leo starts to kick in. It's not officially the North and South Node yet, but this is the initial activation, warming us up. All right? And the fact that it's happening in Leo is, or in Aquarius is just wowza. All right? Pluto, Aquarius. Aquarius season right now. Because, geesh. So first since 2019, think about your life in 2019. If you want clues for what this might be reigniting, we'll get there in a second. Bye-bye wood snake to all the Lunar New Year folks. Hello, fire horse. Okay? If you know, you know. If you don't, do some Googling because the character of this might speak to you if this isn't your particular holiday or calendar. It just might speak to you. All right? This ignites some big, fat themes. Okay? So you want to go back and take a look at your 2019, and here's some extra layers. Okay? Individuality. And actually, I'm going to, I hear you, Randy, one individuality. How does becoming fully individuated make me a more contributing yet healthy part of the whole? One individuation. Okay? My darling man had a real talent for words. So that community and bold self-expression, but bold self-expression that contributes to, becomes, is necessary to the community, humanity, etc. Okay? One individuation. All righty? Bold self-expression, my friend, but it is expression. See, the things that you must say, your life is about communicating because it unlocks things for the rest of us as well as you. All right. Very big difference when we're talking about purposeful expression. You need to communicate it, but you need to communicate it because we need it. And you do too. Alrighty? So, connection. What you want to do is really help yourself connect with how do I say this? The work only you can do, the things only you can say. Seriously. The way only you can say it, in your voice, in your manner, liberated from the impositions, the suppressions, all the things. Okay? Now, this is a new moon, so it's going to take us in here. This is a really interesting collaboration between the spirit of Aquarius, which is mind, it's air, and the new moon, which is come down into your feels, people. The more you can do to do some body work that helps you connect to this, not your mind connect to this, but so that you can connect to this and it can come up, that's the thing. Okay? Okay. Because this really wants, so here's a new phrase, short form, BOOTB, break out of the box. Okay? Value your authentic style. We talked about fashion. Well, style is part of this and it's not limited to fashion. And your unique social expression. All right? If there's anybody here, I know there is, who now knows themselves or suspects themselves to be neuroatypical, ding, ding, ding. All right? Okay. And don't be surprised and don't watch for any attempt to kind of, yeah, that's not for me. In this is a call to activism and humanitarian work. We tend to have blinders on about what that means or what that implies. Take the blinders off and let yourself connect to what that means for your life and in your work. Okay? Next slide, please. Also on the 17th, I told you, February, our charisma of cause, Venus, meets up with the closing North Node. So the same day we get the first activation, warm-up activation of the new Nodal Wah, we have this from the old. Crossover, overlap, dancing. Okay? Fated, destiny-driven feeling. I mean that most sincerely. Pay very close attention, but in a soft, not a hyper vigilant, I can't miss. No, just, and it will likely be here. All right. See, we got two North Node activations, same day. Let's dot I's, cross T's, and let's open. All righty. Now, the one extra piece that I just want to throw in here is this happens in Pisces. We've talked about Pisces a couple of times. It's important that this is happening in Pisces. This one, the first one, Pisces, and the third one. Because what we're attempting to do is connect to the deeper truth that helps us feel our way, feel called towards our destiny, even if it pulls us out in a direction that's like, okay. It opens the doors to connections that feel meant to be. Now, those connections could be people, could be causes, could be messages, they could be, but the door opens. Okay? And you could feel a really, really, really strong pull to someone you're not familiar with, but they feel very, very familiar. And it could be a person, or it could be a body of work. It could be, you get my meaning. Okay. Okay. Next slide. February 18th till March 20th. Our force of nature, the sun, where? Yep, Pisces. Okay. We are working really hard all February to keep ourselves anchored in our connection to the spiritual, to the mystery, and to partner with that. Okay. When our sun is there, it is at its most vibrant. Alrighty. So, he is currently, our force of nature is currently in Aquarius. So right now he's very social, adventurous, very analysis, very busy. Have you noticed this being very, very busy? That's part of this. It's also, be you no matter what anybody thinks. Please. Once this shift happens, and you'll probably feel it coming, it's just like, it'll be quieter. It'll help us recharge our batteries. It also wants to help us touch in and live from our most anchored in the divine place. Okay? The deepest wells of empathy, creativity, intuition, and spiritual connection. Okay? How can you bring through those connections your deeper communication into, because what you want to do is deepen your dialogue with that so that you can bring into manifestation, because the sun that's our force of nature. He wants to bring it, shine a light on it, bring it. So music, art, healing words, because remember, Saturn is working through Aries now, and that's alongside this. So how can we bring those things into being and back into back into deep communion with us? Alrighty? So expect your empathy to be stirred up. Expect your compassion to be stirred up. Expect your deep feeling about what you want for all of us to be stirred up. Seriously stirred up. And then compelled to turn it into real work. Not to say that, and by real, I mean here in the world. Okay? Now, watch for porous boundaries. Again, Pisces, when we're working through Pisces, Pisces is we are all one. That is a lovely, lovely thing. And it can have our very healthy, necessary boundaries kind of go, blah, blah. So you want to watch for that. Okay? You also want to be mindful, because we all care deeply and want to be in service deeply. We could pull people into our lifeboat who don't want to be saved, who don't want to join you in rowing in that boat. I bet you've come across a couple of those, even clients, and just be mindful. Don't pull them in. Or if you pull them in and you recognize the oops, divest yourself as gently as you can. Okay? Next slide. February 20th. Whew. I'm not going to talk too much about this right now. We're going to talk about it towards the end, but this is what I was saying. Stick around. Okay? The Aries activation point with Saturn and Neptune, our inner guru and our dream keeper, meet up at 0 degrees Aries, the very, very, very beginning of the zodiac. Okay? This is a start of a brand new 9,000 year age or cycle. Okay. Oh, so, yeah, we're going to dive much more deeply into this towards the end. This is super rare, super, super, super rare, obviously. And it's very paradoxical. Okay. It's the very, very beginning of things, and it's Aries energy. Aries is the driving force of giving oneself life. Just, okay? But the energy of these two is very paradoxical, okay? Among other things, Saturn is, one of the things he does is set boundaries. He imposes limits because it's limits that give us the guardrails for creation. Without it, it could be anything and everything. And that doesn't help us. This is what I create. This is what I must bring to life. Okay. But on the flip side, Neptune dissolves boundaries. What? Huh? So, what our Dream Keeper does is dissolve the containments that aren't ours. There's lots more to say about that. So, these two are working in really interesting, paradoxical partnership at the beginning of a new age. And it is going to be calling upon us to do some creating. Okay. They're not comfortable here. Okay. Saturn a little more, but Neptune. So know that. And Neptune's going to be working through Aries longer than Saturn. We'll talk about that as we go, but just know. So if you start to feel uncomfortable, that will be why. Okay. Inside this is a huge invitation, a mandate, actually. And those who inside them is resistance to what feels like someone else's mandate. Hello. Yeah, just know that too. Because it's likely to feel, and the mandate is create. So we're going to be talking about what that means as we go, because there's some things to know. All right. So, yeah. Next slide. Massive, massive. It's the most important date of the whole month, of the whole year, actually. And there's a whole lot else going on. February 26th, our communication savant, Mercury, goes retrograde in Pisces. Okay, so we talked about him moving into Pisces. Here's the actual retrograde. Now, this is the first of 3 retrogrades in the year. They all happen in water signs. And that in part is so that we stay in touch with how we feel and our sense of, okay? Because that affects what we communicate, and not just from here or here, but what we wear, how we wear it, our body language, our life speaks for us, our actions speak for us. You get what I mean, okay? Super, 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 super important. Did I say that enough? To back up your data. Switch to stronger passwords. I haven't said that before, but it becomes important now. And submit any lingering paperwork. So I'm also going to say, watch your devices and your things like, I have a microwave that's starting to go on the fritz. And I went, I need to do something about that before the Mercury, because it's likely to go during the retrograde. So those kinds of things you want to take care of now. All right. Few things are going to be as they appear while this retrograde is in process. What I mean by that is, so think about being underwater and looking at something, and it appears as if it's really, really close, or it appears as if it's really far away, or it appears as if it's really, really big, you know what I mean. And then you come up above the water and you look at it and you go, oh man, that doesn't look the same from here. That. What you're wanting to do is help yourself take stock of what you're seeing and then come above the surface. So you're going down deep, then coming up above and going, huh, what do these two views tell me? What this wants us to do is slow down and pause or interrupt assumptive progressions that are not going to help you. All right? If you actually want to know, do that. Take both. Take nothing at face value while this is taking place, not even someone's enthusiastic promise or a nod of approval. Yeah, I like this. I'm good with this. Like, don't take anything at face value. If you really want to know, you're going to have to ask outright. Okay? What this also wants to help us do, because that's also a factor here, is not assume communication has actually happened. Alrighty? Even expect vagueness. We talked about that earlier and what to do if you encounter it. And mixed signals. Just expect them. Those are prompts to ask questions or to say things a little more fully and verify they have landed with the person or persons you're communicating with. Okay? Last big one for the month. February 27th, our force of nature, the sun, has a meetup with the closing North Node in Pisces. Oh my goodness. This is the third of 3. Destiny comes calling. Not the first time, we talked about it before. It wants to offer you glimpses of and the ability to see yourself in ways that are bigger or braver or more capable than you've dared imagine. Righty? Again, going out into the unknown, helping yourself cultivate new forms of mastery. And sometimes the mastery is, particularly because this is the sun, it's like being myself, bigger, braver, more capable. And, you know, the truth of that is that that can be thrilling and wildly intimidating. Okay? Check in with yourself that morning or the night before. And if you feel intimidated, just acknowledge it. Don't shove it away or try and leapfrog over it, or just be present to that feeling and ask its companion thrill to join you, and then watch what happens. Okay? Okay. Yeah. It's a big reminder that your vision matters, even if it's still taking shape. Again, because this is Pisces, your vision is likely more a feeling on this day than a clear, concise, 5-step plan. But yeah. Okie dokie. Next slide, please. We're going to cover these pretty quickly because I have something else you're going to want to hear. So, opportune days, the 5th, the 8th, the 14th, and the 28th. I just need a drink of water. Okay. The 5th, okay, brilliant out of the box income ideas incoming. Okay. And you can't make yourself think them. They got to come from, all right? They'll come in like, holy crap. All right. Next one, the 8th of February, genius ideas incoming. You'll find that brainstorming with a trusted person or inner circle will expand the potential impact of that idea. Okay? Be mindful that their ideas could be coming from the world that is. What you're looking for are, because this is about doing things in an uncommon, out of the box way still. Okay? Your genius, not any kind of genius. February the 14th, happy Valentine's Day. This is a really important day. I'm just going to say real quick, the moon and Jupiter are working together, and this is a big, genuine connection support day. And with your people, your works people, as much as with an intimate partner. In fact, maybe even more. Or both. So just keep that in mind. Next one is February the 28th. Anchor, heartfelt words into reality kind of day. What does that mean? Take some action in some way, shape, or form in terms of saying or communicating words that help you anchor something deeply heartfelt into the world. Now, if you want to do that in a relationship, coolio. If you want to do it in relationship with your work and with your people, big coolio. Okay. Next one, neutral days. Okay. 15th, 16th, 22nd. Next slide. First, the 15th. Nudge to take a closer look at the creative company you keep, cause yeah. And I mean, there's a well-known saying about this. And it's a bit on the shallow side. I'm just going to say that but there's some truth to it. You are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is a little more, are the people in your immediate circle the kind of people who help you go out there? Okay? Creative company. All right? Next one, February 16th. This is kind of interesting. Words have power to open hearts this day. So if you want to do a taste test or a webinar or anything like that, big day. Okay? Take into account everything else that's going on, mind you, so that you don't go into it without being aware of, other things on the move. But this is a really good day. February 22nd. This is a really interesting one. It's going to ask us to check in to see just how much of a safe space we actually are. And if your mind pops up and goes, of course I'm a safe person, take a look. Okay? Because these times of ours and what's moving around and what it stirs in a lot of us, just saying, take a look for yourself. I promise it will be worth your time. Last one to review, hotspot days. Just one. On the 27th. This is a big day, y'all. Tempers and triggers high. All hell could break loose. And people could come to their breaking points, kind of a day. I don't say that lightly. And I was a little nervous about saying it right now because that can send alarm bells going. Don't live in your alarm bells. Just know, like, this is not a good day to do a taste test or a webinar, launch anything. And keep in mind that there are a lot of people in the world today who are living from unhealed trauma and propensity. And this it could send some folks over the edge. So take good care, okay? And take good care of your family. All right. Next slide, please. Favorite fields. I love this slide. We don't have as many, but I'm going to urge you to check the live for 2026. And if you're a current member, there's more there we talked about. Just check in. with Live for 2026 and the Favoured Fields PDF. Okay. Self-possession. I cannot tell you, and it's not just this coming month. It's holy cow. Tuned in, active listening to yourself, to others, to the divine, like all over the place. Leadership. Oh my goodness. Cathartic communication, artistry, making, craft, especially getting ourselves out of, well, I'm not artistic. I bet. Bold action, if you have resistance to that. And there's going to be some, because we've been in Pisces where bold action is not necessarily the thing. And now we're moving into Aries with much more Aries to come. But what does bold mean for you? Not the way the world thinks of it. And then the last one is visioning and anchoring. Anchoring vision. What? Okay. Next slide, please. Live for March 2026 is on the 26th of February. Okay. You might want to pop that into your calendar now. Lives for this year, just important. So if you can be there or make space to watch the replay, can't encourage you enough. And next one. All right. Yep, that is Monday coming right there. How do I help myself really live the deeper story of 2026 exactly? Like how do I take what I'm learning here, what I'm tracking here, how do I help myself live this? That is almost verbatim what a couple of people have said to me over the last couple of weeks that I work closely with. And it had me look at the deeper story of 2026, that program, a little bit differently. And honestly, the last time I heard this question, I spent 3 days writing, like just. So the program this year is very, very different. Do check out that link right now. Erica's popped it into the chat. Okay? Do check out that link. It's never been more important. And I know that might sound hyperbolic. It really isn't. It's never been more important to lean in and partner with the astrology of our times. Never. And most of the time, whether I'm sharing someone's personal astrology, their motion map, their soul map, or this, or live for a whole year, it's the question I get asked a lot is, so how do I help myself live this? We're going to start by coming together on Monday, January 26th for a experiential class where I can start to show you why it matters more this year than ever that we live into that question. Which is why the deeper story of 2026 is a different animal. It's going to involve actionable, that's a big fat word because there's so much Aries energy. And because those two big players and the activation point happens in Aries, we have to live. Yes, please. No, Susan, you don't have to. Pardon me. So current members don't have to register. I would encourage you to, so you know what's coming and you experience the very first practice that I'm going to be introducing to prepare us all for what happens on February 20th.
Lisa?
Yes?
If they want to attend this, they need to register.
Thank you. For clarity's sake, thank you. You don't want to miss that exercise. That actual practice will help you prepare yourself. And we're going to have 2 more preparation exercises. And then we're going to meet up on the 20th of February during activation and experience together a process that will help you optimize the potential in it for you and for your purpose and for all of us. And we're going to be doing that alongside with some deeper contextual information about the big things of the year, we're going to do that once a quarter. So every quarter has its theme. We're going to be working with the big astrology by doing practices and an active process or two, so that we can, together as a community, walk into it and live it as fully as possible for ourselves. Okay, this isn't just an information program. This is a let's go, lean in, partner with it actively as a community program. Okay, and I want to give you a taste of it on Monday, the 26th at 1 o'clock Eastern. Okay, because you deserve to have a feel of it. The program cost is $300, or, and this is I can't encourage you enough, sign up for the current. The cost is the same, and you get it for free, plus everything else that's in the current. Okay? We'll talk more about that on Monday. Yes, I will be sharing information about, so I don't want to play games and say, you know, I don't have anything to offer you, but this is a taste. And I'm going to explain to you why being part of the program this year could be critical. And not just for you, but for your work and for the people that you serve. If you cannot make it real time on Monday, register anyway, and you'll get the times, and I mean that time-sensitive replay. Okay? Because the lead up to the very first big astrology, which is on February 20th, okay, you want to be part of the replay, and you want to take on that first practice, okay? Because we're going to prepare ourselves. I want to walk you through, as I walk myself through, preparation for each quarter's big astrology. Because wowza. So come Monday and let's explore the answer to the question, how do I help myself really live the deeper story? Because learning about it is one thing. That can be helpful. But active practice, that's something else altogether. Okay? Okay. Nancy, yes, do show up, because this is a part of the course. It's a chunk, the very first chunk of it, so that you can experience it. You're going to want to be there. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. And if you know people, so I'm going to give you a tiny little chunk right now. February 20th opens the womb of creation, the cosmic womb of creation. I don't say that lightly. To tell you that this is beyond extraordinary, and being there in the activation with a process that will help you, your life, your soul, plant the seed that needs to be planted for you, for your work, for your people, for the world. Because it's not just another day. Then there's the formations in July. Then there's the preparation for that. Then this isn't just know here, watch context, observe yourself. This is active practice time. Okay? So come experience the first chunk with me on Monday. And if you know you already want to, bring your knowing with you, and we'll go from there on Monday. Okay? Okay. Next slide, please. It's also a great time to ask any questions you have. And do you have any questions right now about February beyond, take the February 20th, the womb of creation, and put that to aside till Monday. Right now, do you have any questions about February, or something that stirred you already, called you already? I'm here. And if you popped a question into the chat, I'll go look for that now. Did you see anything, Erica? Your boyfriend's birthday is the 20th? Yes. So, Susan, the flat out answer is abso-freaking-lutely. Okay? Okay. I have a question. Adele, love to hear that question. Do you want to type it into the chat or do you want to turn your microphone on?
I think it might be easier if I just ask it. It's actually not about February, but it's about something that just happened in the past 2 weeks. I don't know if it's appropriate, but I will definitely be there Monday. I am definitely interested in moving forward because
Yeah.
the past 2 weeks, things have happened that literally took the rug out from under me that I am so aware. Let me slow down.
Good noticing. Way to go, Adele.
Thank you.
Way to go, Adele.
I'm both in awe. I'm on the verge of tears because it has been so shocking and devastating. On the one hand, I'm aware that there is a higher force power guiding me and protecting me. And it's also brought into my awareness of the level of blind spot that I've been operating from. And so it's been like with that very humbling and scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Adele.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for sharing. And folks, a lot of people are going to be experiencing moments like that this year. And we haven't even hit the end of the first month. Has anybody else noticed the pace has accelerated wildly? Anybody else feeling the energy picked up wildly? Curveballs, blind spots. Which is why the deeper story of 2026 is now about active practice. So, yeah.
So I guess then my question is, which I mean, I know what you're going to say, and part of me just doesn't want to hear it. Like, I mean, I knew that 2026 was going to be wild, and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's only January. I mean,
Mhm.
it was January 13th when it happened, and I was like, the reverb is still very, very deep and real, and I can't even make sense of it because I had so much shock that I can't even, I like my internal navigation system isn't, I don't know. I mean, it's always there, but I'm having a harder time accessing it or trusting its accuracy because of the reverb in my body. That's my best meaning making. Maybe that's why you're speaking to these practices.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's not the only piece of it, but it's a big one. It's a big one. So Nancy said in the chat, Adele, I hear you. Me too. Hugs. See, one of the things about the program is that you're going to, if you say yes to it and to yourself for the year, okay? Because this is about saying yes to your year, is that you'll be in the company of people who are walking all this wildness with you. There is a higher possibility of feeling alone and alienated this year. And not walking through this by yourself is going to be important. And I've been talking about the fact that we don't move forward in isolation anymore. The lone hero, lone ranger kind of thing. And now you have a feel of why. Does that help, Adele?
Yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
I'm walking with you, girl.
And so I've been wanting to get, I guess, either a soul map or motion map, but I guess that's in addition to this current, correct?
Yes, and if you become a member of the current, you get the program as part of the current, and you get a special rebate on soul map and motion map services. So keep that in mind.
Okay, and it's 300 a month.
A year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I want you to have
Oh
this.
my gosh.
I
Oh
don't
my
want
gosh,
money
Lisa.
to be a barrier.
Okay, well, that's my
As
fear.
reasonable as, okay?
Wow, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
thank you. That
Welcome.
is so generous.
We're walking this together, period. We're walking this together. Is it generous? Okay. And I just don't want the money to be a barrier. We need this and we need each other. So please put yourself in. Please. Okay? And come Monday, give yourself a taste first. If you need that, that's what it's for. And even if you've already bought the program or you're already a current member and you know you're going to be in the come because a piece of the program is in Monday. Okay? All right. Oh my God. We've never been through a year like this. Ever. Humanity has never walked through a year like this. And we don't have to walk it alone. You and I, here's another good reason. You're alive right now, living what you're living for good reason. It's part of all of this. And the more ably you can navigate it, the more you can lean in and partner with it, the more you can contribute to how this goes. I don't know about you, but this is what my life is for. I want to help myself too. Don't get me wrong. And this is what my life is for. This is what my work is for. I need to help myself walk this. And I invite you to walk along with me. Okay. Erica, do you see Amy's question? Oh, you did. Never mind. Sorry. Anybody else have anything they want to share or ask? Are you done, Adele, or is there more?
Thank you. I feel complete. I mean,
Okay.
I guess I kind of knew that was just information. That experience was information for the rest of the year. I sure as heck hope that's not what the whole year is going to be like all the time, but good God.
And it's not just information, honey. Your experience matters. Okay.
I know it's all in divine order. And this is a birth canal year. Is that an appropriate metaphor? So I can know that this isn't just like the new normal in terms of the intensity.
I can't promise you that, love. Sorry. I wish I could, but I can't. What I can promise you is that I'm going to share with you practices and processes designed to help and optimize. But does that mean we get to turn the intensity off? No. We get to learn how to be present with the intensity without it robbing us of the ability to remain or build more self-possession and more sovereignty. Okay?
Okay, that resonates.
Yeah. We've been talking for a couple of years about this coming. I wasn't specific, but I've been saying we need to dive deeper into our practices. We don't just need to, we have to. And here we are. So, okay. Okay. Huena has said in the chat, I know 2026 is a huge plus intense year for people who were born in the year of the horse, especially fire horse. Oh, you're both. Ooh, husband and yourself. What's your advice and caution for us to prepare for this year? Come Monday. Okay. I hope it will help answer some of those questions. And come Monday. Okay. Okay. bring your husband if he's open. And if he's not, I understand. But so that's the other thing, folks. If you know people, you know, peers or teachers or clients, even friends, loved ones, if you want to help them help themselves, especially if they're purpose oriented or purposepreneurial, please give them the link to register and invite them to come with you. Okay? Let's not keep this a secret because 2026, y'all. Oh, thank you, Erica. We've used Zoom's, what would you call it, Erica? Their setup.
meeting registration function.
Thank you very much. And there's a piece in that page that allows social share. Okay? So share, please. Please. Just the one exercise could be useful. There's so much more coming, but just the one exercise that we will do together, the practice I will share with you. Ooh, yeah. And there's another program that I'm going to be introducing. Yeah, I can't say too much more right now, but it's part of helping with 2026 and connecting with your deeper wisdom, especially during these times that can be wildly volatile, as we just heard. It's going to help. It's going to help. It's going to help. It's going to help. I've been testing the work for a while, and oh my God, effective is crazy. It's not, I can't even describe how effective it is. So please, y'all, anybody else have a question? Oh, Susan, you're also born in the year of the fire horse? Holy moly. Anybody else born in the year of the fire horse that they know of? Put your name into the chat. Wood horse here. Okay, so we've got some horses. Yeah, man. All right. Was there any other questions? I might have missed anything.
Steed's got her hand up, Lisa.
Oh, okay. Steed, bring it.
Hi, Lisa. I mean, I just really did want to say hi.
Hi. It's so good to hear you.
No, and I never realized who I met you from until the other day when my friend Rebecca Skeel.
Oh, yeah,
Rebecca
Rebecca.
and I were just having one of our into the late night chats, and you came up, and I went, "That's how I heard about Lisa Bolt." So, but as I'm listening to you, I'm coming Monday.
Okay, good.
And I've already looked into, I think you're calling it the program. And I'm thinking that might be a good fit for this year too. But what's happening, and I'm just wondering if I'm on the right track. What's happening is a huge amount of change. I've known it, and I'm surfing it pretty well.
Okay.
But the biggest thing that's a mystery for me is shifting from I've been working for a nonprofit that I love, but I've known for a year that I'm done. The job is over, I'm done. But haven't known what's next, and have always had a whole lot inside of me, both for my art and a lot to like feeling like I have a way to share and offer.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that will help me, give me practical ways to um, listen more deeply
Yeah.
and to, start. Yeah.
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 It's designed to help with listening specific to the astrological big ones of the year. Will that help with the listening that you're actively attempting right now? Yes. Is it the only kind of listening I can help with? No. But will it help? Yes. I would be shocked if it didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
So you just said what other ways of listening can you help with? That sound intriguing.
We should talk, Steed.
All right, sweetie, we'll talk.
Yeah, it's too much for here right now. So
I'll email you.
yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you too. It's so good to see you.
Been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. It's been a while. Okay. Anybody else have a question or a share, or anything that they just, want to kind of noodle a little bit? How y'all feeling right now? So no questions, no noodling, no additional sharing. My head's cut off. Looky. Adele, emotionally tired. Yeah, I feel you, girl. Thanks, Adele. Again, walking with you from here, my friend. Okay. Unsettled, Nancy. So I mean this in the kindest, most loving way. Good. Unsettled is useful this year. And I'm with you. A time for getting plenty of rest and gentleness. Yes, Steed. Ain't that the truth? Yes. And just know that the pace of this year, in many ways, it's going to be fast. So how do we balance? And that's going to be something we talk about in the program. How do we balance? And so a lot of what has gone into the development of the practices and the processes is about going into the place inside of us that is timeless and motionless, so that we anchor in that when we return, so that when we feel called to go back into action, we maintain our own pace. Okay? And that's is going to be important. Okay? Needing to go slow and be deliberate. Yes, but slow now is faster than you're probably accustomed to. You just need to find your anchor in your timeless, motionless, so that you can feel what tempo and pace you're supposed to go at. Okay? Again, we'll be talking about this on Monday. Bravery. Yes. Susan, oh my God. But brave how? What is your brave? Not my brave, not the brave we're seeing necessarily on the streets or in the headlines. So it's your way forward. Sun in Aquarius is talking about that a lot right now. So do we need to be brave? Yes, but we need to find our way to be brave. And that's a little changeable from moment to moment, but it's also why this program is designed to work with the big, powerful, holy crap moments of the year. Because, sheesh. Juana says, feeling very unsettled too, but trying to find some glimmers. Yes, glimmers and micro joy in every day. That's really good. Good. Sylvia says, feel like we're on a Japanese bullet train. What a great way of putting it. Yep. And see, touching the timeless and the motionless in you means that you'll be directed into sharpness about the piece of the blur outside the train that's yours to see. Thank you for that phrase, Sylvia. Love it. Patrice said, last week I quit a new Artist's Way group because I was drawn to start a new painting. When I left, I said, this is me being brave. Yep. How quickly did you know you had to quit, Patrice? Do you mind sharing?
I woke up feeling like I had to start a new painting that day instead of getting on the Zoom call. And I tried to text the leader beforehand and couldn't get through. So I got on the call and just said, thank you, and I have to leave. And the painting I started on Sunday, I finished yesterday, which is so rare for me to do one painting that quickly. It had to happen.
Okay. So I hope y'all heard that. Thank you so much, Patrice. One, the bravery of acknowledging, yeah, I can't do this. Second, the bravery and necessity of actually getting on the Zoom and saying so. Sheesh. Hello. And then third, that you began the work on Sunday and finished it when? Yesterday? Did I hear that right?
Yes, it surprised me.
I bet it did. So, just an aside for all of us, that's how things could go with your beloved purposeful projects this year. Okay? I wrote, so I use binders. When in the rare instance, because I'm not a journaler, not a natural journaler, I started writing because things started pouring. Okay? Pouring. And I have now filled two 1-inch binders. One of them has filled overnight with notes and connections. And so when you tune in, things can go really fast because these times need the right kind of fast from the right kind of place. That's why these practices and processes are so. I could still teach you more about the astrology. But when I kept hearing those questions from brilliant women, all of them, about how do I really live this, I went, And so the project started to flip. And it wasn't just about information and context anymore, as useful as that is. It's about how do we live this? And my insides responded real fast. But it drew on practices and processes. Much of the practices and processes I'll be sharing with you from things that have been tested and true for a couple of years now. So the way the work could go for you this year could be breathtaking. And there could be some sideways blind spot stuff too. And so the question then becomes, how do I be with my kind of necessary fast, anchored in timeless, motionless eternity, my soul, so that as I return, I bring with me what the world needs and what my life has to share, that I need too. Remember, our work for the world is our work for us, first, last, and always. It isn't just needed out there. We need it just as much. Okay? All right. Steed, that's really beautiful. Riding a horse when it cuts loose is both exhilarating and wild. Basic rule, keep one leg on each side of the horse. Stay on for the ride, go with the flow, and let the horse go. It knows what it's doing. Okay, folks. We'll be back here together Monday at 1 o'clock Eastern. In the meantime, watch your inbox or go to your platform or the Facebook group, because that's where we'll be posting the replay plus the implementation guide for February. Just know that that implementation guide cannot in a single touch what's going on for the rest of the year. That's why Monday. Okay? Anybody else have anything else they want to say or share or offer? Okay. Then I'm going to suggest that you turn on your microphone and say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You take care, y'all. And thank you again, Erica, for holding the space for us.
Yes, thank you, Erica.
Bye.
We'll see you Monday.
Erica.
Bye, everyone.
Love, love, love.
Love, love, love. Bye, y'all.